One thing's for sure, two things are for certain. This will not end anytime soon, and there will be many more skirmishes in 2025 in hip hop as far as MCing, as far as rapping, as far as careers are concerned. Hip hop's version of the Game of Thrones is on and popping, as Drake has dropped one of his response records to where he has called out many and named very few. Let's get into the reaction. All right. So Drake drops a video of him reciting a record that is being called Fighting Irish. A young lady's recording him, I guess in his living room, where he has the instrumental playing in the background, and he goes over the bars while sitting in front of the fireplace. Very, very interesting setup there. Now, this is an older video because he still has the braids. So to my guess, there's plenty of music that is addressing everything that happened to him last year. This is just going to be the first launch. It's funny how it comes on the heels of Joey Badass's freestyle, mentioning and throwing shots at Kendrick. I am going to do a full breakdown of the Joey Badass freestyle because I see a lot of East Coasters trying to go the soft route, saying, oh, he's not really throwing shots. Oh, it's reaching. Oh, no, he's throwing shots, okay? We're going to go through that one meticulously because a lot of you half-ass hip-hop fans and a lot of you dudes out there especially that, you know, maybe y'all wanted to have a rap career one time. I don't think you all understand the top level of writing lyrics and writing bars and why you pick certain words and how top level lyricists weave multiple meanings into their rhymes. Or you're just scared of somebody from the East Coast getting into a battle with Kendrick, or you just don't know how to really decipher somebody's writing, why they choose specific words, why they choose specific rhyme patterns, why they choose the words that go with those rhyme patterns, etc., etc. I'm not gonna get into it. Let's get into this Drake reaction because upon first listen, to me, he said a lot. He was saying a lot, he was addressing a lot. Let's get right into it. Drake, Fighting Irish.
Yeah, the summer is over, I missed it. Barrett was smoking, I kissed it. Ferris showed us the renters for Texas, it's unrealistic. Cut him a check cause I hate reviewing the budgets and limits. Just pay the man. The world fell in love with the gimmicks, even my brothers got tickets. Seemed like they loved every minute. Just know the shit is personal to us and it wasn't just business.
Okay, so there he's setting up what he's about to talk about. He talks about, I guess, moving to Texas or the renders in Texas. It's unrealistic. Either means that's the price tag. It was to move in Texas was he paid so much to buy that ranch, I believe, that he had in Texas, or he just rented the ranch. Who knows what that exactly refers to. I think he just got that to move the rhyme scheme along. He just mentioned that to move the rhyme scheme along. But then he sets up what he's getting ready to talk about, which is everybody he's getting ready to mention and throw subs at everybody he feels turned on him. Let's continue.
Analyzing behavioral patterns is somewhat suspicious. Niggas was never happy for me when I run up the digits, or when I'm breaking world records still as I guzzle a Guinness, or when I get my fifth made back cause the color is different. Remember we traded watches, I gave you the Arabic dial, you gave me a numbered edition. You would even check up on my son like a pediatrician. Sure convinced the gang and shit was...
Now, from a technical standpoint, him staying in that unrealistic pediatrician gimmicks, him staying in that rhyme scheme is impressive, all right? Now, he's gonna throw specific shots in there so that the people that he's talking to knows exactly who they are, right? You know, when he mentions the watches, he makes sure that he mentions the exact type of watches that he traded with the person, etc. My guess is DeMar DeRozan for sure, Lil Wayne probably for sure, whoever the mole was for sure. We still don't know exactly who the mole was. The best thing I've seen is, the best guess that I've seen is producer Mike Zombie. That's the one that makes the most sense as far as the references are concerned. But I think he's definitely gonna take aim at all those people this year. And as far as the UMG lawsuit and things like that, like I said, to me, the discovery petition was more of a marketing ploy than anything. They don't plan on suing UMG. It doesn't make any sense, like I said. But this does, and releasing this record in this way, feeds into the rumors that he's gonna split from UMG. It also gets his name back up in the algorithm yet again. Interrupt Kendrick just had 4 songs re-enter the Billboard 100, I believe in the top 20, if not the top 10. So again, he's trying to snatch away from that attention, especially leading up to the Super Bowl. You're gonna see this kind of thing happen over and over again all month. This is how they play at the highest level of music because there's a lot of money at stake. So anyway, let's continue.
Rooted in love when it isn't. Show me how different we are. There's blessings in juxtaposition. I guess now you boys gotta abandon your summer tradition. Cold shoulders I gave in the Hamptons, it come with the distance. Figured we was always gonna be close like ovens and kitchens. I was sadly mistaken, the loyalty wasn't a given. It's all good.
Okay, so he's really leaning into the victim role among his friends and the people who were supposed to be on his side as he's seen it. I'm not talking about Rick Ross and people like that. I'm talking about the Lil Yachty's and just everybody who didn't really back Drake all the way through the battle. They kind of just started to give it up to Kendrick, and for him to expect anything different really, to me, is unfair, but he can feel how he want to feel. So he's talking about, you know, going to the white party at the Hamptons and maybe not being as friendly with everybody who was there, which majority of the people there were his friends in music, right? Once upon a time. And so he's explaining, I'm glad he didn't release this as a record at that time. This would have not been a good look. I guess it's okay now. But again, another thing he's doing, I believe, is he's rapping very well, giving a lot of personal perspective and insight to kind of quell the rumors that he really doesn't write well, or he doesn't write at all, some people say, but that's kind of ridiculous. I told you guys, if you watch this channel, you know the ghostwriting thing is not a big deal to me because a lot of people do it, especially people who turn out albums and music real fast. But I'm gonna leave it alone because it's a sensitive subject. But this is all very strategic. Do I think it's the right strategy? Yes and no. I like the sample that he used. I like the approach that he's taken. I don't like the message. Similar to J. Cole and Port Antonio, but let's continue.
And niggas cry the blues for you saying it wasn't malicious. Talking about we family, well I'm not the cousin to visit. God forbid we ever gotta tarnish your public image. All that brother talk as if I really discovered a sibling. 6 degrees, my memories retrieving our humble beginnings. Niggas wanted trouble, grab the shovel and dug us some ditches. Cover my body in dirt, but that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Now this makes me think that the leak could have been from maybe one of the artists that is close to Drake. I'm not gonna say Lil Wayne. I don't think it would be Lil Wayne, but somebody like that. Because somebody who was friends with Drake in the beginning of his career, and that covers a lot of rappers. Okay, that's the humble beginnings bar. Also, people telling him to just shake it off, or it was just a battle, it's just battle rap. He's saying it's easy for you to say that, and it's not you, and people are not calling you a pedophile, and people are not combing through your past. But I mean, he has to really, in my opinion, you have to own up to what you did. This is what I would have done. If I was Drake, just real quick, I'm gonna throw this out there. What I would have done is I would have gotten Billie Eilish and the actress from Stranger Things, I can't think of her name right now, Millie Bobby Brown, and Jimmy Jam's daughter and the girl from the Denver concert in a music video to show that they don't feel any kind of way towards him if they don't, and which most of them made statements in saying that they don't, right? That would have stopped a lot of the accusations and investigations that are going on into his whole past now, right? That would have slowed that down. Now, would I still look at him as a weirdo if he did all that? Yes, I would. But I'm not one of those people who wanted him to win, but was on the fence at the same time. So anyway, let's continue.
That was a body double and we done dozens of switches. Niggas tried to light the front gate up, it wasn't for Christmas. I said a prayer that morning for Sean and it wasn't religious. It came from a place of desperation and utter submission. Rapping was over for now, it came like a sudden decision. I don't give a fuck about you snakes and these other musicians. Niggas started fucking with my family, I'm going to prison. And we all crashing out together, my brother's complicit. Who put a pipe bomb in your trunk? It was an exhibit. I'm trying to blow the doors off that bitch when you touch the ignition. But then I gotta remember who made this shit come to fruition.
Okay, so there he's addressing the shooting at his house of the security guard. I believe that's Sean that he's talking about there. And how that took his attention and mindset away from rapping in the battle, and it took him more to street sensibility. Look, I'm not saying I agree with it. It's plausible, and it does make sense, though. That's a real situation. Somebody shooting up your house, and somebody gets hurt that you employ. That can come with a lot of different lawsuits and all kind of things. So especially if the paperwork wasn't right. So that's plausible. I know a lot of people who don't like Drake are not gonna go for it, but hey, also the exhibit bar, I don't like that bar too much. I like the bar as for what it is, you know, exhibit, pimp my ride, right? But exhibit being a West Coast rapper and suggesting pipe bombs in people's cars, I don't like. That's a little too serious, but I get what he's saying because Ninjas was shooting at his house. So fair exchange, no robbery. Let's continue.
But then I gotta remember who made this shit come to fruition. It's me. Who's got the most to lose and who's in that other position? Signal conversations where I hope they got double encryption. I hate to see the empire crumble on judges' convictions. This nigga pulled a rabbit out their hat and y'all love a magician. It's funny to see you all rejoicing and hugging and kissing. What are we celebrating? I rent out the club at Edition. Nothing was the same with all you bitches and nothing's forgiven.
Okay, so there he's again talking about why he didn't, or his thought process of overreacting to what was going on, overreacting to the battle, overreacting to the shooting at his house, and realizing that none of this happens because he was pretty much responsible for all of these things, right? So he's taking responsibility for the position he was in, so there's no use in crashing out. He would hate to see his empire crumble over judges' convictions. That's what that means. Then he goes on to further make it clear that everybody who was supposed to be on his side, who he feels switched up on him, whether you actually did or not, he is not going to forget this. Nothing was the same and nothing's forgiven. All right. So there's going to be some people whose careers depend on Drake that are probably not going to have careers anymore. They better find some talent real fast. Let's continue.
But next time, bury me in gold. My blood is Egyptian. The Dennis James come out when the vodka is flooding my system. I don't have a drinking problem. I got a subtle addiction. I got my father's habits and I got my mother's permission. My dad has another child. I told him that wasn't my sister. Grew up with dozens of Jews, churches with dozens of Christians. Also developed a deep respect for the Muslim religion. I'm staring at my daddy while y'all tell me I wasn't that nigga. That's fucking crazy.
Okay, at the end there, you know, Drake, he just doesn't really have any chill a lot of times. But he's talking about the versatility in which he grew up. You can also tell that the questioning of his blackness really got to him, okay? Because that's what that last bar for sure means. But he also talks about his upbringing and the conflictions within his upbringing because he is of mixed heritage. Makes sense. And Toronto is also very multicultural, multi-religious, so he mentions all of that, which is a good play, but to me, there's a lot left unsaid in this song as far as his character issues, which he never addresses. You know, he takes the vulnerable route, which he does in a lot of his records, but the other people's wives, girlfriends, households, the disrespect for that is something he really acts like it's not a big deal, and it really is. It's really the crux of all his issues throughout his career, really. And that's something that he needs to address, and he has to understand that as long as that's on his jacket, playing victim will not work to the degree that he wishes that it would. And Kendrick addressed it, I think, very clearly. Pusha T addressed it, I think, very clearly. But I think Drake is still very ego-driven, and that's a message that he doesn't hear. Overall, if the record was finished, I probably would like the record sonically. The rhyming, he's rhyming his behind off again. But the messaging is just a miss. For me, he could have done more with addressing that one thing, because that's really the elephant in the room. That's the main thing he needs to address about himself. And maybe talk about, maybe it's a back and forth thing. Again, we don't know why you're like this, but you need to address that, boy. You need to quit messing with people's family and mentioning people's households, because as you should have learned, Kendrick, some people don't play that at all. And not everybody lives that party lifestyle that y'all think is so awesome. Okay, y'all grown ass teenagers, high schoolers. You gotta get out of that. But anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Do y'all need me to do a further full analysis? I don't think it's necessary, but if you want me to do it, I will do it. Joey Badass breakdown is coming. I'm probably gonna drop that tomorrow to get that out the way. As always, hit the like button if you haven't hit that like button already. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Thank y'all for watching as always, and we out.